Yo, what's poppin' everybody? Welcome back to Sankofa Senpai. I'm back with another Solo Leveling Season 2 review, and Episode 5 was straight up gas. You already know we got a lot to talk about, so let's dive right into it. Episode 5 picks up right where we left off. Jinwoo standing by the dungeon boss gate, and Heian pressing him trying to figure out what he's doing there. Jinwoo hits her with what I think is the weakest excuse possible, but probably the only one that won't make her too suspicious. Bro really said he got lost. He's low-key impressed though, cause she managed to sneak up on him without him even noticing. And that's saying something. Up until now, nobody has pulled that off. This moment just confirms what we've been seeing. Heian is built different. She tells Jinwoo to leave since his presence might trigger the boss early, which would be a major problem for the weaker members of the raid, like the mining and collection teams. Jinwoo starts heading out, but as he walks past her, she catches a whiff of his scent, and she's instantly intrigued. Now remember in my last video I talked about how she reacts to hunters by their smell. To her, every hunter stinks, like straight up foul. But Jinwoo? Nah, he's different. Not only does he not smell bad, he actually smells good. And look, the way they set this up low-key plants a few interesting seeds. First we gotta ask, what exactly is this scent Heian picks up from hunters? And why is it only triggered by them? But more importantly, this moment changes everything for her. She's spent who knows how long constantly guarding herself against that nasty hunter stench with that weak-ass handkerchief. And now, here comes Jinwoo breaking the pattern. Now if we're thinking ahead, this has to mean she's gonna start seeking him out. Whether she realizes it or not, dude is literally the only exception to the thing she's been avoiding her whole life, and that's gonna sit with her. And I said it before, but I gotta double down. I think this moment all but confirms she's about to be a love interest. As humans, we naturally gravitate toward what's different, what stands out. And Jinwoo, he's different. So I'm hyped to see how their dynamic unfolds from here. But I can't lie, this kinda got me feeling bad for Lee Joo-hee. Back in season 1, I was convinced she was being set up as Jinwoo's love interest. Even when she dipped and moved, I figured there'd be an arc where Jinwoo ends up there and they reconnect. But now, yeah, that ain't happening. Old girl is old news now. Anyway, as Jinwoo dips out like Heian told him to, we catch a quick scene with the mining leader giving Jinwoo some props. He says it's rare they get to chop it up with someone on Heian's level, and he explains how she usually stays inside the dungeon after the strike team leaves, just in case the boss decides to act up early. They also bring up her whole issue with the smell of hunters again, which by now we all know about. But it's interesting because Jinwoo starts wondering if her ability to smell hunters has anything to do with the system. And remember Baruka? Dude glitched out before Jinwoo packed him up, unable to spill the real reason behind his actions. Is that connected to Heian's sense too? Honestly, it has to be. If she can smell other hunters but Jinwoo doesn't trigger that reaction, then what does that say about Jinwoo? It's like he's not even a hunter in the traditional sense. Man's out here leveling up after every fight in a world where that's supposed to be impossible. But my question is, why does Heian even have that ability? It got me thinking. Jinwoo is the player in this whole system, right? But what if whoever set this system up gave powers to other select hunters like Heian? Maybe these powers are designed to help push the story forward or even aid Jinwoo's rise in some way. We keep getting these little hints that Jinwoo's experience is far from normal, and you know it's all leading up to some big reveal. I'm hyped to see where this all goes. I can't say for sure unless I break down and read ahead, which I'm still holding out on, but I feel like Heian might be important to the system too. I just don't know how. Is she going to be a key piece in helping Jinwoo's progress, or is she going to be an obstacle he has to overcome? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Anyway, we cut to the mining team, and bro, the glazing is wild. They're straight up giving Jinwoo his flowers, and the lead miner even asks him to join their team permanently. Like, forget your rank, your skills are built for this. Jinwoo takes it all in, but initially feels like he's seen everything he needs to from an A rank gate. Then it hits him. Tomorrow, the second strike team from the Hunters Guild is raiding another A rank gate, and that's when he realizes this might be a perfect chance to observe a different squad in action. They're a little weaker than the main team with Jongin and Heian, but still, seeing how they move could give him more insight. But after all that, we cut to later that evening and we see Heian asking around about Jinwoo. Turns out Redhead Dude was also digging for info, and the Hunters Association got his file on lock, even though he's technically just an E rank. Yeah, Shorty is definitely in her feelings. She's not acting straight at all. Jinwoo's scent got her way too intrigued. Next day, Jinwoo pulls up, and of course, the mining team is back at it with the glazing. But this time, we actually get a wholesome moment. Their kindness and enthusiasm remind Jinwoo of moments from season 1 when he was surrounded by people who actually had his back. After chilling and eating lunch, the leader of today's strike team rolls through, looking for a favor. Turns out, their equipment guy flaked, and they need someone from the miners team to step up and carry their gear into the raid. What happens next? Everybody immediately says no. And honestly, that's real as shit. They quickly assess the situation and realize they are not strong enough to go in with a strike team. No amount of money is worth risking their necks. If I was in that situation, I'd be one of the ones saying hell no too. But of course our boy Jinwoo accepts and rolls in with the squad. And this ain't no lightweight crew. They got 6 A ranks and 3 B ranks. And Jinwoo quickly realizes that no other guild would ever call a squad like this a secondary team. His respect for the Hunters Guild is clear after that. But as they walk deeper into the dungeon, Jinwoo starts feeling off about this place. It's got less mana than the gate from yesterday, but something about it just doesn't sit right with him. And immediately I'm thinking, here we go again. Another S-rank dungeon in disguise. We get a little wholesome moment from a healer on the squad who tells Jinwoo not to be nervous. She's like their strike team is solid and it's their job to protect him. Meanwhile, we also learn that the team captain is leading his first ever raid. Now dude is an A rank, but he's nowhere near Jongin or Hei-En's level. If this raid goes well though, he'll officially become the head of the secondary team. And I ain't gonna lie, the moment I heard that I thought he was about to start making dumb decisions just to prove himself. But later on, he actually surprised me. Glad I was wrong on that one. Right after that, the squad gets ambushed by dungeon jackals. And these things, they look just like the Lycans from season 1. But the squad reacts fast. They adapt instantly and clear them out with ease. Only problem? They quickly realize something is off. These jackals weren't just random dungeon mobs. They've got collars on, which means they belong to something. And when you see monsters with owners inside a dungeon, that's never a good sign. Of course, right after that revelation, a pack of high orcs pulls up, and the squad is shook. Judging by their reactions, these monsters are the real deal. And the second they attack, yeah, you can see why. That first spear throw alone had the squad leader reconsidering life choices. And at that point, we already know things are about to go left and Jinwoo's presence is going to be needed. But before we even get to that, I got to give this strike team their flowers. Despite immediately understanding how serious this fight is, they don't freeze up. They step up fast, and you can tell even though they're the secondary strike team, these hunters are elite. Anywhere else, they wouldn't be considered secondary at all, and they prove it right away. The tank holds it down, the mages start letting loose, the close combat types get up in the mix with zero hesitation, and the healer stays locked in, making sure no one drops. And honestly, I was impressed. I fully expected an immediate massacre, like that poor dude in the S-rank dungeon who got sniped by the ice elf at the start of the raid. But nah, this squad is built different. Now, out of all the hunters in this fight, one dude really caught my eye, a mage who I think was B rank. But what made him stand out? He could summon creatures, kinda like Jinwoo's shadows, but with a fire-based twist. I don't know how important he'll be in the long run, but his summons look clean, and the way he called them forth was dope as hell. Now back to the fight. These orcs are strong as hell, and even though the team is fighting with everything they got, it quickly becomes clear. Experience can only take you so far when the gap in power is this wide. Just when the healer accepts her fate thinking this is it, we see Jinwoo activate what looks like his stealth skill, weakening the orcs just enough for the squad to take them down. But here's something I gotta bring up. If I was in the world of hunters, I think I'd want an assassin type power. Something like Jinwoo's or even the dude with the purple hair from season 1. But low-key, the healers are kinda OP too. Like we literally watched the healer grow back a dude's entire arm with ease. That's a crazy ability to have. No combat required, but still clutch as hell. Anyway, back to Jinwoo. He's silently wrecking these orcs in the background. A quick slice to the Achilles. A casual spine rip. He's making sure the squad can handle the rest without it looking like he carried. And with his help, the team clears the orcs using their own skills, no problem. In another moment of realistic moments, we see the squad start connecting the dots. The orcs started acting weird the second Jinwoo got involved. And then we get a moment with one of the B-rank mages. Internally, she's like, bruh, does Jinwoo really think we're fools? We see what he's doing. But she stays quiet, cause sometimes real G's move in silence like lasagna. Once the orcs are dealt with, the team quickly realizes they are not built to finish this dungeon, and this is where we get a quick leadership check for the squad captain. Even though he's been grinding for this promotion, he makes the right call. They're calling it quits instead of forcing it. I really respected how he handled this. Dude is a skilled A rank. This was his moment to shine, but he didn't let his ego get in the way. It really showed the difference between him and Kim Chul before he got turned into iron. Anyway, just when they're about to leave, they realize the gate is locked from the inside, which means they ain't going anywhere. The mages step up, trying to break whatever curse is holding it shut, and that's when the whole squad gets a glimpse of the demon's power, and suddenly, Everyone's moving a little faster to get out, but it's not working. The mages start getting worked, and at this point, it's obvious. They are not meant to leave. As they turn to look deeper into the dungeon, a whole army of red orcs steps forward, like the ones before were just a warm-up. And without hesitation, the squad leader steps up, calm, focused, like he already knows what needs to be done. I don't know how important this leader is long-term, but I've really respected how he moves this whole episode. Even when things go against his personal ambitions, he's making practical choices that shows he values his squad's survival over his own rise. And that's real leadership. Now as he locks eyes with the orc in front of him, he doesn't even flinch. And then out of nowhere, the orc and his gang start talking, but we can't understand a word they're saying. Then, dude's head starts tweaking like we just stepped into a full-blown horror movie. And it's clear he's being controlled. Not by someone in the room, but by a force we can't even see. Then after his neck finally stops spazzing, he starts speaking in human language. Through the orc, this mysterious figure introduces himself. And the message is simple. They got two choices. Pull up and meet him face to face, or get wiped out right now. Now we don't know what this dude wants, but let's be real. An offer like this in any anime, it's never a good thing. And that menacing ass voice doesn't help. But realistically, the captain makes the only choice he can. He leads the squad deeper into the dungeon, and that's when we learn they don't expect to make it out. They're fully prepared to die if it means taking out the boss, one last move that cements just how elite they really are. Despite the squad telling Jinwoo to dip since he ain't even part of their original team, he keeps moving with them, following the orcs deeper into the dungeon and deeper into trouble. We then cut to Heian, now in civilian clothes, standing outside the gate. She's looking for Jinwoo, still piecing together her little side investigation, but the minor team lets her know he already went in with the squad. And look, I hate when they randomly throw in a 3-second scene from a completely different part of the story instead of just keeping the momentum going. But since this was part of the chapters covered in these episodes, I can't really complain. Anyway, back to the real action. The music drops, and as the final scene plays out, we watch the squad step into a massive throne room. And it is packed. An insane amount of high orcs everywhere, all leading up to the throne, where the dungeon boss is posted up, looking menacing as hell, and then right before the episode ends, bro looks down at them and calls them a bunch of human worms. Now if Jinwoo wasn't there, I'd be telling you this whole team was about to get packed up. But since he is, I think we'll see some casualties. But way fewer than if he wasn't in the mix. Plus, we gotta remember, Heian is right outside the gate looking for him. So there's a real chance she jumps in too, especially if she senses something's off. Either way, I like this episode. But bruh, these cliffhangers, they got me frustrated, cause all I want is more story in the time we have. But at the same time, I wasn't the biggest fan of episode 3 compared to the rest cause it felt rushed, so I guess I can't have it both ways. Maybe that's why we keep coming back though. Anyway, that's all I got for this one. If you're loving the series as much as I am, hit that like button, subscribe, and smash that notification bell so you don't miss the next breakdown. Thanks for tuning in to Sankofa Senpai, and I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.